Oh!
That was a wild pitch. Oh my, yeah, that was right at his head.
My gosh. Wants the home plate umpire to maybe issue a warning. Oh, he's going to talk. They're going to see. This is interesting. They started doing this a few years ago. The umpires get together to decide whether to issue a warning or injection. Now McCutchen and Lopez are barking, and that's going to empty the benches. Some milling around, a little barking. Usually these baseball scrums don't amount to much, although look at O'Neill Cruz holding back Tommy Pham. Tommy Pham doing some yelling now as he heads toward the dugout. And McCutchen understandably not thrilled with that.
Good.
Well, we got an ejection. He's been tossed. The umpires get together and decided that was intentional.
And look at this. Jose Barrios had some words for Cal Raleigh as Raleigh was rounding third, and now the dugouts have emptied, and it looks like cooler heads are going to prevail. But from what I could tell live, it looked like Barrios was the one who initiated conversation. Barrios, we don't see him get angry on the field very often, but something was bothering him. He started the conversation.
He said sign right there. It's something about Raleigh being on second base. In other words, it's okay. You want to give signs, it's okay. I'll take care of it. But I think this has a lot to do with what Cal Raleigh was doing as a base runner on second base.
One was a great sinker ball hitter last year. He's done so a couple of times in his career, so Carrasco's been avoiding it. Now he throws a changeup. Kjerstad does steal second. So Heston picks up his first steal of the year on a strikeout for out number one. And now a little dust up at second base. Carrasco's out there with Peraza and Volpe. Jorge Mateo getting in the mix. And the benches will empty. Here comes the Oriole bullpen sprinting in, led by Ciano Perez. Tony Mansolino's out there. Cedric Mullins trying to restore some order.
Well, where did he want him to land?
Yeah, I don't know what he's supposed to do, and then he falls down a little bit. And that could be frustration, you know, Kjerstad. 0 for his last 20 before he got a hit.
See, you can almost exactly see what's going on. Pablo's saying, I got to catch the ball.
Yeah.
Kjerstad's like, how could you go like that on my head? Kjerstad just reacted because he got hit in the head.
Well, the other thing is he can't really see what happens, you know, because his head's turning and he comes down on his neck, and that probably hurts, and you get a little upset.
The Yankees are going to make a pitching change in the middle of all this. Tim Hill is out of the bullpen, as most of their relievers are still on the field.
1-2. Wave and a miss. Strike three. He did punch him out with a fastball for good measure for the home run.
You know that felt good for Terry.
Now wait a sec. We've got some talking going on.
Neto.
Here come the benches. Neto got punched out by Skubal. And then as he was walking to the dugout, everything changed. The Tigers bullpen is all spilling out onto the field. They're going to talk it over.
Yeah, it's simmering. It simmered down. They were just exchanging words, you know. Somebody got a little excited. As soon as one guy jumps out of the dugout, a bunch of people have to go. That's just kind of the order that moves.
I believe that's a warning that was just issued by Corey Blazer to both dugouts. So now with Skubal and his penchant for pitching inside, we got to watch that. Watch Neto strike out here. Neto looks at the mound. He said, you got me one time.
3-2. And that is a line drive into left. O'Hearn getting the send around. Palacios' throw home is cut off. Mayo is hung up.
Oh.
And
I think he went
collision there.
Well, he went out of his way to hit him, I believe, and now they're going to tag him.
Yeah, so he is out, but not before the first RBI for Kobe Mayo in his big league career. And oh, here we go. Mayo with a push. Bench is clear. And now here come the bullpens. Now the RBI base knock ended the inning, but as Mayo went down, he took exception. A little pushing and shoving occurs, and while everybody is out of the dugouts and out of the bullpens right now, the umpires are playing peacemaker and trying to get everybody to return to the dugouts, and that's what's going to happen.
Now, the reason he gets caught is because he wants to make sure. Now, he does go out of his way to hit him. You don't see, I mean, I can't remember the last time I ever saw that happen. But they tag him, and you know, the other, whoever, let's see who he runs into. He runs into Vargas, not very hard, and they're going, what are you doing? So he's definitely out of the baseline, and you know, again, the most important thing is the Orioles get that second run.
Oh, up and he gets hit. 93. And Schilt comes out barking, upset, and yelling at Dave Roberts now, and they're going to come together. Dave Roberts coming out as Schilt was yelling in his direction, and now a little shove from Roberts of Schilt. And now everybody unloading onto the field. The manager started, and now the players are involved too.
It was only a matter of time. But at some point, enough is enough, whether it's accidental or not. And the third time a guy gets hit, especially a guy of Tatis's stature, this is what the end result is going to eventually be.
Now 1 for 7. He popped up to the first baseman. First time out.
Got him again.
Oh, Neto with words. Hunter Brown taking a step towards them, and now the bench is empty. Here come the bullpens, and Hunter Brown and Zach Neto having words.
Now, Hunter Brown is the ultimate competitor, but so is Zach Neto, and he keeps screaming right back at him. The bullpens are making their way in. We saw this at Dodger Stadium last night. I mean, that got him square on the wrist. Kind of similar to what happened to Tatis Jr. You never feel good when you get hit with a baseball.
No. What the ticks off another team more than that when your star player gets hit. You're right, we saw it with Tatis Jr. Right now, hopefully, cooler heads will prevail.
I mean, your normal reaction is you get hit, you're upset as a hitter. But when you see a pitcher coming down off the mound saying something, hey, you're right back at him. But like I've said, Hunter Brown is one of the most competitive pitchers, a young guy. He kind of reminds you a little bit of Walker Buehler.
Remember Neto and Skubal had this same situation, right? And then they both kind of tipped a cap towards each other and said, hey, okay, my bad, my bad. Everybody's going back now. But man, you see the fire from both of these competitors. But Hunter Brown escalates the situation a little bit.
And that's that sinker. I think this is the pitch that's made him better.
Saying that's twice.
There's a little bit of history there. And I'm sure there's going to be some warnings potentially, which for me is not right. Because he throws that sinker, that's the pitch that's really turned his career around, in my opinion. Granted, still, he's such a young pitcher, but he's walking right off this mound saying something right back at Zach.
Now you get all that adrenaline. Now you're Hunter Brown. You're dealing with 2 on. I'm sure he'll be able to find a way to settle in, but
yeah, that's the way he is. I mean, you can see him right there. He's saying, you know what? I'm going to pitch inside. And Zach Neto goes, well, I don't want you pitching inside.
Hit the rookie Christian Moore, one of the first guys out there.
And pitch number 5 almost got him. Did it? It did. Contreras hit up and in. He's John with Palencia, who said, I'm not trying to hit you. He just brought the tying run to the plate. 13th time Contreras has been hit. He's aboard for the 3rd time today.
Well, you'd be upset too if you got 101 up there near the shoulder area. This one does clip him.
Strike 3, a slider, and the Cubs shut out the Cardinals in Game 4. No blood in this series at Busch Stadium. It's 2-2. As we'll await to see the Cubs next week.
Well, really a tale of 2 different series wrapped in one, as both sides kind of going after each other there. Valencia might have yelled at Contreras. Contreras not happy about that. Them jawing back and forth. Take a look at the big strikeout here. Yeah.
Ollie Marmol and Brendan Donovan keeping the peace. Contreras fired up. He'll get a chance of revenge on the 4th of July holiday at Wrigley Field in Chicago. But slugfest since games 1 and 2.
2 down here in the bottom of the 7th. The pitch is a curve. Did he go? Yes. On appeal, that was a swing. Flores can't believe it. He is unhappy, tosses his bat away, and he's yelling at the Marlins and the pitcher Gibson, who said something to Wilmer. Wilmer, it takes a lot to get Wilmer going. Alfonso Marquez is shoving Wilmer Flores to stay away. And Wilmer's barking at Gibson, and this series has gotten really chippy.
0-2 on Jesus Sanchez. And Sanchez and Herrera getting into it now. Benches are all empty. He might have got hit on the backswing with the glove. Sanchez seems fairly apologetic, but Herrera, I think, is telling him, you know what, I've kind of had enough of that.
Yeah, I think it's just, maybe is it the swing? The thing is, I feel like this got overblown because Sanchez and Herrera are just kind of talking back and forth. There was nothing really getting aggressive there.
You try to sneak one in on him, well, the hands are pretty quick. He'll pull on you, too.
And he just got hit for the 15th time. He's got a long look out at Pivetta. Diaz talking and walking Contreras down the first base line. Now the benches are going to empty. Contreras has been hit a lot.
It's the 15th time of the season. We talk about this a lot with Contreras. He gets pitched in. You have to be able to go in there at times, but you got to be able to control it also. Not happy. Catches him right there in that left forearm. Had some words for Pivetta. There's a good chance Pivetta had some words back.
Pivetta looking over at first base.
Yeah, look, you get both sides of it. You certainly get Contreras' side. Been hit 15 times now. Everybody runs it in on him. And from Pivetta's standpoint, get warnings on both sides now issued. Yeah, Pivetta not happy about this at all.
No throw again. Nobody there.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? It's not going anywhere. I know he's slow to the plate and maybe, you know, trying to slow him down, but he's not running. You know, I also don't know if he thinks, I don't know if he thinks Trevor's trying to, you know, relay signs or sees a grip or something.
It was a timer violation on Narvaez, a violation on him that picked up another strike there.
Which is odd because Neris wasn't even on the mound. He was walking around messing with Story, so he balks on purpose. See, he wanted him to go to third that whole time because he thought he was relaying Neris's grip. Sometimes you can do that with split finger guys. You can really see when they dig in their glove and you can see the grip. So he didn't like that. That's why he kept going to the inside move.
Bounding ball deep short. Correa staggered a bit. He'll skip it over there. Made a beautiful play to retire the side. Red Sox pick up another run. 7-3 Boston at the end of 7.
Yes, I was worried about this. I knew he was going to be angry first with Trevor Story. But he started barking at Kyle Hudson here as he's coming off because Trevor was already gone. I had a feeling this was going to happen.
Yeah, benches are empty. Here come the bullpens too.
But guess what? That's part of the game. When you can see the grip in a glove, you see Kyle Hudson laughing it off like, hey, we're not doing anything wrong. So he kept going to the inside move with Trevor Story at short. Then eventually balked on purpose to move him over to third because a lot of guys that throw split fingers a lot, you can pick the grip out of their glove. This is not cheating. This is part of the game. If you don't like it, you hide your grip better.
And he walks Pham. He's come in, he's uncorked a wild pitch, he's walked two, and now Pham has been saying something to Heineman, and now the bench is empty.
Everybody's rushing toward Tommy Pham. He just dropped the bat after the walk. Dropped the bat, a little bat flip. We see that happen all the time. But Tyler Heineman, the Blue Jays catcher, took offense.
Right off the ribbon board, he had just about a foot from going in the upper deck, and then 93 coming inside and hitting Acuna. He is not happy with Ryan Gusto, and they're coming out of both dugouts.
Well, it never looks good right after a big home run when something like this happens, and Ronald clearly taking exception to it.
I think Brian Snitker just got ejected.
He did because he's probably upset that there was a warning issue. It's always frustrating for the team that is on the receiving end of the first hit by pitch.
Into deeper waters, and Vientos is hit by a pitch in the midst of 2 men on. And fishing for marlin, fighting the big fish.
Yes, Hemingway-like.
And now we have an argument going on. Alcantara and Vientos jawing at each other after Vientos was hit by the pitch, and the bench is empty.
Vientos was incredulous that Alcantara had thrown in on him, and Alcantara was like, why would I throw at you?
Here come the bullpens.
Fastball coming in. It runs in. It clips Vientos. So Vientos with the stare, and Alcantara is like, what are you staring at? Let's go down to first base. What happens a lot of times, things are said like, I've gotten you out all day. You're lucky I hit you. Like, crazy things are said back and forth. Nimmo, I told you, he wasn't happy with the last at-bat he had against Alcantara.
How about little Javier Sanoja trying to hold back Alcantara?
Under, they're 5 games out of the final wild card spot. Devers skies one to right, way up there, and gone. Another one for Rafi Devers. And Kyle Freeland, the benches are clearing. Devers is trying to round the bases. Freeland was unhappy, and now we got punches being thrown. Oh my goodness. I mean, Devers still hasn't rounded the bases. Devers hit the home run, admired it. Freeland did not like Devers admiring that one. Yeah, got more action. Yeah, Adames and Freeland are really going at it.
So he's going to tell him to circle the pillows. So there goes Devers when he comes back to the dugout.
We need the mic here.
Due to their actions during the on-field incident, the starting pitcher is removed from the game, as well as Willie Adames and Chapman for San Francisco.
Wow. So there you have it.